Playing an Acti game as a super user is a very simple process. I have opened up my own subscription here and went into the Games section on the left-hand side of the menu here. You can expand the menu to get the full title, making it easier for you to navigate to the Games tab. Once I'm on the Games tab, I get the full list of all the games that are currently available on the Acti platform, including the ones I have privately on my subscription. If I would like to try out a game, I simply hover over one of these tiles and hit the See Details button. In here, I can read a description about this game. I can download some useful materials, but first and foremost, I can hit the Try It button in the upper right corner of the screen. Hitting the Try It button will take me to this page where I can download the handout, I can select the language for the game, and finally, I can hit the Play Game button. Clicking play game will take me directly into the game without having to set anything up first. And this is meant as a service for you as a facilitator and super user on the Acti system. You can always go in and try any game you want to, get the practice in, get familiar and comfortable with the particular game that you'd like to run in your workshops. This is the player perspective. So whenever someone joins one of your sessions or whenever you open up one of these games, you are going to reach this screen right here. First, there's a little bit of an introduction to the game board itself. We get an overview of the different buttons available in the system. You can review your latest choice. You can see your game history, meaning backtrack previous choices made throughout the game. And in the Team Insights button, you can get a full overview of all the stakeholders in the game. Finally, the green Continue button is your main navigation button. It's how you proceed through the game. Once we read through this, we can click the Continue button. We then get a short introduction to the game board itself. This is a cycle game, and it's using Rigmora's change concepts to help players understand change processes. So we have a focus on resistance levels, and we also have a process moving forwards on the game board. We then have a boat on this game board. So this represents, in this case, the change process as a whole. And your goal is to move as many of these game pieces as you can all the way up towards field number 24. Finally, we are told that we have 100 hours available in this first chapter of the game, and currently we have a score of 0. Once we are done with the tutorial, we then first reach the introduction to the game concept itself. So here we explain that you can think of this as a flight simulator just for leadership or change management. There are a couple of insights as to how to think about this type of game. After that, we then get to the game introduction. So here we outline who are you as a player, what is your role, what company are you currently working in, and what are the metrics you'll be measured on throughout the game. There's also oftentimes a bit of information about the team composition of the stakeholders that you are going to lead through the process. And finally, we have some input about the current system being replaced. So in the first text, we outline the scenario itself. After that, we get to the introductions to the first chapter. So here we are told that we are in the initial actions phase. We are looking down at a rollout in 6 weeks, and there's going to be a go live in 13 weeks. So now it's up to us as a player to help prepare the stakeholders for the process to come. After reading the chapter introductions, we then get to the list of options available. Before selecting an option, it's a good idea to check in with the game board and some of the stakeholders here. You can click the stakeholders to get a description of each of them. But once you are acquainted with all the different stakeholders, all the movable parts of the game, you can start selecting options. You do that by clicking the Continue button, finding an option you like. Let's say I want to select this option called Step by Step. I can expand all of the options at the same time if I want to read through all of them, but let's imagine I'm convinced this is the best option to select right now. It'll only cost me 10 hours, and I think this is a reasonable way to get started. I then hit choose. After that, I get some feedback based on what happens in the game, of course, but also what can I expect to happen in a real life situation if I were to do something like this in a real life setting. So this is from a theoretical angle, of course, and the game is set to react in certain manners to certain choices. We always invite the players to discuss whether this reaction would be realistic in their own setting or if it would be different, and in that case, how would it be different? Finally, there's a reference to where we got this information, and once I am done reading through this, I can hit the View Result button. I now get some movement on the game board, and from here on out, it's basically rinse repeat. We select the options we think are the most relevant for each of the game's phases, and as we go along in the game, we will be told exactly how the story develops. I recommend you go into the Games tab and find a game that you think could be of interest. You can search for particular topics such as change management or leadership training. If we just go back to the list of games here, there are some learning objectives that you can search for here, or you can use the search bar up here to do a free search for specific topics. Get into the Games tab, try out a game, and see if you can find something that you like.